and welcome to the show. Joining me today is the international singer-songwriter Raquel Reno, recently signed to Hilary Shaw Management, former manager of Girls Aloud and Bananarama. And we're going to be talking about her rising career in the music business. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Monica. Nice to see you again.
Lovely to see you, Raquel. In fact, we just saw each other at your lovely live performance in London.
Yes.
Your first gig. How was it?
I'm glad you made it.
Yes, I'm so pleased. I can't honestly, it was amazing.
Oh,
How was it for you?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, the performance, went really, really well for me, and so many
bands,
people.
which was
the band were just like spot on, and a lot of people which we invited came along, and the turnout was amazing.
It was. In fact, we were very close by to people from the hotel. So, they'd seen that you were on and they came down and bought tickets.
Oh, that's
That's
lovely.
really good. Yeah, and they were putting it out on their socials.
Lovely. I got new fans.
Yes, you have. But Raquel, what's it been like? I mean, I've seen you before. We've had an interview before, and it's since then though, you've really, really started to make ground. You've done some brilliant music. In fact, we're going to be playing actually you're going to be singing live, aren't you, in the studio? So that'll be a treat for us. But what's it been like? Has it been going according to plan?
Yeah, well, it's actually quite a slow process. When you're doing anything which
Absolutely.
is creative, and the EP is literally around the corner now.
Wonderful.
So I think it's June 17th.
Wonderful. Has it got a title yet?
No, there's no title yet, but I'm sure there will be.
Yes.
It might just be Raquel
Just call it
Reno.
Raquel, yes.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Welcome to My Life, because that it's usually the start of any set that I've been doing,
Which is the song that you
live.
performed today.
That's
course.
right,
Yes, that's
actually,
really nice,
yeah. Which is actually about the music industry, that song. So Welcome to My Life is based on.
Maybe that would be a good way to start it.
Well, that's it. It's a first track, actually, and that's all I'm giving away.
Yes, listen, that's it. She's saying no more.
Yeah, and you're the first person I've told, so you're lucky.
We've got it as an exclusive. I love it. But Raquel, you've met so many people along the way. When you're, writing and performing, is it all that you thought it would be?
No, not at all. Like the creative process is actually a very small amount of what needs to be done in the music industry. It's a business, and it's everything else around it which actually takes up more of my time. Obviously, I've spent nearly 2 years on building up material and building up the framework for Raquel Reno, and but that's obviously it's not been 2 years straight. It's been over the period of time. So it got me into Nashville, which went amazing.
Yes, tell us about that, because you were in Nashville. When was that? Was that last year? Or was
last May?
Last May.
But I had the opportunity to work over there, and I wanted to work over there because my music is actually Memphis influenced. So a lot of the Memphis musicians are actually hanging around in Nashville because it's the music city. And I thought, if I can get an American soul sound, I mean, that's the best place to go. It would be Memphis, but Nashville was kind of where everyone was hanging around, and I just thought, what a great opportunity. And the team I had at the time who I was working with on that project was they had some contacts and they had a setup there. So I thought, wow, let's do it.
It's all about contacts, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You
Especially
kind of meet one person, that leads you to another person, and then another door opens. And I think you've just got to know when to change. That's one thing. But you've also got to just, if something's working, keep hold of it, get it done, and then move on.
Yes, exactly. So are you in contact, Raquel, with anybody that you met whilst you're in Nashville?
Only a little bit, like on the socials, so like Instagram, like if you see people's stories, like they could be in London performing, or they could have a show in London. But there's never any time to meet anybody, so... But Jeff Cohen is a hit songwriter over in Nashville. He actually did a lot of work for the Shires, which is an English-based country duo. I'm not country, by the way. Everyone thinks because I've been to Nashville and recorded in Nashville, everyone thinks that I'm a country artist, and I'm not. However, I am going to write a country album. I've already put it on my bucket list. Is that I'm going to
we're both big Dolly Parton fans. So
love Dolly Parton.
And she's just done a rock album.
I know. So
Come
she
on.
just inspires me to do what I want. So
But that's good though, because music sometimes can be all about genres, can't it? And that's not necessarily the right way forward, is it, sometimes for some musicians?
No, I think you need an identity. I think it's good to start with an identity. And I mean, I really like the 60s, and you know, a lot of my music is based on the 60s and that kind of 60s glamour, that freedom back then, and that the romanticism as well. Is like all my songs, that, as you know, are all about heartbreak or romance or breakups or love.
All the best things are there.
Just all the songs I wrote when I was really sad. So you know, and that's where it comes from. You've got to kind of be in that mode to be able to write those kind of songs.
And where do you write? Do you write by yourself, or do you take yourself off somewhere to write? Or?
Do you know what? I realised that on the plane, if I'm on a plane somewhere, I will write songs on the plane. I've written a few songs on the plane.
Get the notebook out.
It's really funny. I was walking through Salvages actually, and I wrote one song called Tough Love, which hasn't made it onto the EP, but I am going to come back to it and get it reproduced. Because I was walking through Salvages, like just minding my own business, but then I was listening to the music they play in there, and it was quite 60s. And then I just had this thing, baby, I'm changing. I thought,
I'll write that one down.
It's like a bit of Supremes going on here. And then I came out with this song called Tough Love, and I think that took about 2 or 3 days, I think, to finish it off. And then I sent it to Nigel Lewis, who. I just did a little voice recording, which is great, by the way, on your phone. That's where I keep all my ideas. I sent it to him. I said, what do you think of this? I kind of wanted it to sound like this. And then you like kind of look like an idiot in the middle of the street going, do, 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 do. So you can try and figure it out.
Life of an artist.
Back at home. But that's kind of how it works with me. It's just kind of wherever...
But if that works for you, then that works for you. You know, and if it is working. So, you know, you've done your gig. That was your very first live gig, is that right?
It was, yeah.
So, again, was that everything you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I was actually quite nervous, and I know I'm not meant to say that, but I'm just going to try and be as real as possible, because, you know...
It's very honest and open of you to admit it.
Well, I want things to be authentic, because we live in such an unauthentic world right now, and I'm not going to go too far into that, but I just want it to be, you know, everything, that the message that I'm giving across is to be authentic. And I mean, what a way to do it, like with bringing back some of that 60s,
Yes. And you got the shoes.
I mixed it with a bit of modern. Yeah.
But I mean, after that, so are there more plans now to do other gigs? Is that what you'd like to do?
Yeah, so I've got one coming up at the Camden Club on the 15th of June.
Okay.
So if you would like to come, tell your friends.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Spread the word. Spread the word.
So that's going to be it's a little live music venue right next to Camden Market.
That's what's so lovely about London, though, isn't it? You've got such amazing music venues dotted all over the city, which is great. What about America? Can you see yourself doing something in America? Would you like to go over there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know, obviously I got break London first, but or Great Britain, as I would say. America, is definitely a place that I would love to spend more time. And obviously, I'd love to go to Memphis as well and really experience it. I mean, Dusty Springfield is probably one of my biggest inspirations. I loved her music, and I listened to it day in and day out. And
you can tell that in your, now you've said that, you can see that in your music.
Yeah, I just called my dog it, actually. We've got 2 new puppies, and you know, she's just a little black puppy, and I thought, oh well, Dusty's eyes were always black, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
I called her Dusty after Dusty Springfield, and then
fantastic.
And then we joined her with a little another little toy poodle called Eric.
I won't ask where you got that name from.
Eric. It's an easy name for my partner Charlie to remember.
But it's funny though, because 60s music it's really revival, isn't it? Lots of people are really into 60s music at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's come back.
It's always been there, but as you say, it's come back.
Yeah, well, if you've noticed, so you know, you've got people buying vinyls again, so they're all over the high street shops, so even like clothing stores and you know, they're back in record stores. Like I think there's still a few left, Virgin Records.
Yes, there is. Yeah,
but I mean, Amazon's selling vinyl like mad now. Like I've just bought like some off
well, it's
Amazon,
outselling CDs at the moment. So
I mean, this is the time, and it is coming back. And if you've noticed fashion as well, you know, there's this kind of like 60s, 70s vintage thing, and then stuff gets released on Netflix, like Daisy and the Six.
Daisy and the Six.
Don't know,
but
I think it's
check it out.
But Daisy Jones and the Six. That's it, and that's all
60s,
very 60s.
Excellent. Well, we've got to take a break, but stay with us. Come back and join me again in just a minute. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Raquel Reno. Your singing is quite unique, and your songwriting is quite unique. And even though you've got your elements of the 60s in it, it's still a very modern sound. Yeah. And was that something that you deliberately, you know, wanted to achieve?
Yeah. I mean, people would say I'm a pop singer / soul. Yeah. And, you know, the 60s influence obviously comes from all my inspirations, like Dusty, Aretha, and you know, all those, and the look as well comes, you know, like Elizabeth Taylor and, you know, those kind of icons, those like wonderful woman icons. And I thought I'm gonna try and bring it back as much as I can, because I love it myself.
Even though you're you know, you're very influenced by the 60s, your music is very much, it has a lovely modern twist to it. Was that something that you wanted to achieve?
Yes, definitely. I definitely wanted a bit of a modern twist in it, because, I mean, we're in 2023 now. So, you know, I'm up against, you know, TikTok and and Instagram and, you know, all those lovely things. Yes. And, and you know, I want to appeal to, you know, all markets, because I think social media, especially now, is so fast and so quick. I think, you know, I have to try and, you know, keep it modern. It's with a bit of a 60s
talking about social media, you know, I often speak to musicians, and it's very central now, really, to almost to their success. You know, they have to put things out on social media. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, like 100%. It's a business in itself, social media, and if you're not running your business online now, I mean, I think it'd be very hard to run a business. So social media is really, really important, especially for music, because that's how you get your listeners now.
You create a really good fan base, don't you, from social media?
That's it. And then branding comes into it as well. So that's when you sell things.
Of course.
I mean, if you look on anybody's Instagram now, there's View Shop, and you know, it goes straight to the guys. And I mean, what a good way though to market something you're trying to sell is that you've got a video and you're wearing say a t-shirt.
Yes.
You're trying out a microphone or something, and then you can just press one button, Apple Pay, ding, and then you've sold it. So I mean, I get it, and it is so important now. So you know, we're all trying to keep up, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I'm with you on that. But it's a different era though, isn't it? You know, I mean, we're speaking about records, of course. You know, vinyls, as we said, is making a huge comeback. But alongside of that, something that was been traditionally, that's where the musicians used to make an awful lot of money. Yeah. Social media is now the place for a musician like yourself, for a singer-songwriter, to make the money as well. So we've got the new and the old almost, really, haven't we?
Music back in the day, it was so hard to make money because a lot of these artists were picked up by major record labels, and they pretty much pinched everything. So now it's like, you know, there's this whole new door that's been opened for musicians in this era, where you can sell makeup, you can sell CDs online, and you can sell, everything's online now. So I mean, it's a great thing for us to make money, but it's also a full-time job in itself. I wouldn't be able to do anything like that if I didn't have a team around me. Even the music side of things, like I've got a great band.
Yes.
My songs wouldn't have sounded how you heard them the other night if it wasn't for the band as well. It's not just me, it's part of a big team.
It is, and it is a great band that you've got, which is, you know, did you hand select those yourself? Did you
I did have
sort of a say in who they were
going
to be?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a music director, Steve Anderson, and he was in charge of finding the band.
He did a very
which
good
was
job.
it. Yeah,
He
he
did.
did. And then obviously I've had to do my own research
Of
as
course,
well and
yeah.
make sure it's right.
And your family must be very proud of you.
Yeah, my grandmother, she came to my launch gig on
She did.
on Thursday, and she was just like, "Oh my God, it's a dream!" But she was literally the talk of the night. So my grandmother, like, she's in all the PR at the moment and everything. So she's doing well.
She's
my
doing very
grandmother,
well.
yeah.
She's on that social media. Get her on TikTok, Raquel. And I know that Charlie, your husband to be, is very supportive of you as well.
He's like my secret weapon, Charlie.
Good way
He
to
is very
describe.
supportive. He's a big rock for me. So and we work great together as a team. I mean, he's got a magnificent business mind. I've never seen a mind work like it.
Now, tell us about this lovely song that you're going to be singing.
We've touched on it earlier.
Yes.
It's called "Welcome to My Life," and it's a song which I wrote about the music industry and the struggles that a young female like myself.
When did you write it, Raquel? How long ago?
I think it was about a year ago.
Okay.
It was about a year ago when I met Nigel. Nigel sent me a track over, which I liked the sound of. It was just a produced track, no lyrics, and I wrote this song over it,
Right.
basically. It really is the introduction to my life, because it's, it's hard graft. Even as a cover artist or a session musician, it's a hard job, and it's full of uncertainty. So,
And trust as well is really important, isn't it? Having who to trust.
I mean, it's like a bloody minefield down there, Monica. Yeah.
But it is though, isn't it? So it's really important that you have a really good team around you and people around you that you can trust.
Yeah, I mean, you meet all
Yeah.
the people that you don't trust, and you soon work it out eventually. And the start of this song is I've been walking around this disco town, Soho, and on every corner seems to be a clown, because some of them just talking rubbish, and you just got to work it out. So it's hard.
Oh, Raquel, it's been fascinating. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Really, real pleasure. So now would you like to introduce the song that you're going to sing to us today?
Thank you so much for having me, Monica. I'm going to sing a song for you now, and it's called "Welcome to My Life," and I wrote it all about the music industry.
Whoa, 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 yeah. I've been walking around in this disco town. Every corner seems to be a clown. It took a little while for me to figure it out. What's wrong for me and what is right? Same old story, repeating itself. I found trouble again. Welcome to the tears that I cry. Welcome to the sleepless nights. Welcome to the heartache and lies. Welcome to my life. Here's to all the people that have tried. Every single promise denied. Standing here alone, but I'm the sleepless nights. Welcome to the heartache and lies. Welcome to my life. Here's to all the people that have tried. Every single promise denied. Standing here alone, but I rise. I'm taking back my life. I'm taking back my life. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mr. Big Shot, let's hear what you got. Mr. Big Shot, let's hear what you got. Oh, Mr. Big Shot, let's hear what you got. Mr. Big Shot, let's hear what you got. Whoa.
Welcome back to the show. I'm now joined by Charlie Mullins OBE, who recently has been on so many TV shows talking about all things London. An entrepreneur known not only as a businessman and the former owner of Pimlico Plumbers, but should also be applauded for his work with so many charities in the UK. Welcome to the show, Charlie.
Thanks, Wanda.
Lovely
Good to be back.
see you.
Good
Thank
to be
you.
back.
Yes, lovely
Yeah.
to see you. So, Charlie, all things London. I mean, every time I sort of look on my socials, there you are talking about all things London, and of course you're going for mayor, aren't you?
Yeah,
of
I mean,
London?
now, as you know, I sold, last time I was on your show, I
Yes.
sold Pimlico Plumbers for 150 million. So, I'm not worrying too much about money at the moment, and I want to put something back into society. And I think what better than running for London Mayor?
Absolutely. I mean,
And that's going to be in 2024.
I was just about to ask that. Yeah.
I've just got a team put together. We start planning what we're going to do. And, I think I can get London moving again.
Has it been a difficult sort of challenge for you to go for London Mayor? Has people been very supportive of you, or have people said, "Oh no, you don't want to do that"? It's
Well, I mean, there's a mixed feeling out there, but myself and many other Londoners feel that you need a Londoner to run it. I live in London. I was born in London. I work in London. I spend my money in London. Spend my spare time in London. And London's a great place. And I just feel that it's starting to slip away. Without wanting to knock the guy who's doing it at the moment, but I wouldn't put him in charge of a broom, if I'm being honest. And that's being polite.
Yes.
It's just ruined it, all these bicycle lanes and the traffic. It's pretty much, you just can't move anywhere now. And I feel we need to get London moving. If we get that moving, I think it's going to create a lot of jobs and obviously get the economy moving again.
Yeah, which is really important. It's the economy at the moment, obviously following COVID, we went into a business slump. London's changed in so much now. There's so many empty buildings. That's the one thing I've noticed.
There you go, exactly it.
Everywhere you look up, you think, is there anybody in this huge, tall skyscraper?
I was always against the working from home business. I think it was pointless. I just think it's unnecessary. And now they can't get workers back into the office. And that's what we need to do, get people back into the workplace, get them sort of putting something into the economy instead of draining off it. Get back to the old work ethics where, you turn up for work and you do a fair day's work for a fair day's money. Stop all this nonsense, so-called working from home, sitting in their pyjamas and, in the kitchen doing it, sitting in bed doing it. It's not the way to do business. I'm not saying it doesn't work for some people, but the majority of people need to get back to work and get things back as it used to be. If not, we are just going to be a totally ruined sort of nation. There's loads of entrepreneurs like myself, and we need to make more of them. They bring a lot to the table, and now should be the time that we stop knocking them but start praising them and start, using them more, using them in government, get working class people in government, people that know what they're talking about, people that know have gone to work, people that have made their money and employed lots of people. And I think that's what we need to move on to. Also, I'm working on apprentices, as you know. I started as an apprentice.
Because that's the thing, Charlie. You've come from a very humble background. You started your business as a plumber, and you worked your way up, and you became this incredible business owner. And as you say, sold your company for millions. So you've lived that, haven't you?
Very much so.
People try to say to you, "Oh, you've just got all this money and you don't know what you're talking about." What do you say to people like that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, left school at 15, no qualifications, very little education, and good work ethics will get you through, and determination and drive, and the will to want to succeed and get a better life. And I think that's what I want to inspire people for. And the best thing that happened to me was an apprenticeship. So I'm going to hopefully start an apprenticeship sort of college at some stage where you encourage people into work. And I was working with the government at one time with the Prime Minister and the Chancellor, and they said, look, we've got this youth unemployment, we've got crime on the streets. What can we do about it? And I said, it's simple: get them a job. Just get youngsters a job. It solves many problems. I mean, you don't get youngsters that go to work going around stabbing people. They're interested in work. They're part of society. And I come up with an idea where when you leave school, you either go to university, you going straight into a job, or you go into a government-funded apprenticeship scheme. And we need to bring that out there. And I remember talking to Boris Johnson, and I said that it will resolve crime on the street, all this rehabilitation, and of course it resolves youth unemployment.
And not everybody is, academic. We need the academics. We need people who are, will go to colleges and universities. But as you say, not everybody is academic. And currently, the government have brought in that every child should have mathematics up until they're 18. I think.
Absolutely crazy, because you only need the basic sums. And if you're going to be in finance, or you're going to be sort of a very important job, or a doctor or something, a mathematician, of course you need to know the maths. But I've never met anyone who can't add up money, put it like that. And that's all you need to do is add up money. Obviously, and we all know what percentages is. We all know, we all want the lion's share of the cake. So that's not difficult to work out. But I think they're concentrating too much on it and not concentrating enough on the shortage of skills, a massive shortage.
And there is a shortage, isn't there, Charlie? That's the thing. There's a real shortage of plumbers, electricians, all the sort
every
of
tradesman.
Yeah, all the tradesmen really. Construction.
If you think plumbers are expensive now, you just wait in a few more years when the shortage is even more and the demand to be there. And while we're talking about tradesmen, I'm going to be opening up a new service, plumbing and heating company, in the new year.
Wonderful.
We sold the other one to an American company. And we have a 3-year clause not to start up before then.
Again, yes.
But we're planning it. We have the business. It's moving forward, and it will take over London. There's no two ways about that. It will take over London, because we're going to give what people want, the old-fashioned service. We're transparent. We're going to turn up on time and give people value for money.
That's the
and
thing.
People will always pay for quality money.
They will absolutely. And that's the thing, when you turning up on time.
Well, there you go, reliability.
Reliability is key, I think, isn't it? Yeah. And
so,
I think that by doing that, do you think that people will immediately come to you, Charlie, with that business?
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly. I mean, we have many customers. I was at Pimlico Plumbers for 41 years, and even lots of celebrity customers, and they still ring me up now and saying, look, I'm having problems and this, that and the other, and it's not working out with the other company. Can you help us out? And I said, look, we can't at the moment, but next year we will do. So I've got no hesitation about it. And, there's a big gap in the market again. And I feel that, and London's a big place, it's a busy place, it's a great place to run a business, it's a great place to employ people, and it's a great place to make money. And it's up to the individual, if they can come up with an idea, go out there and make it happen. Then, if you can't make it happen in London, you can't make it happen anywhere.
No, and also, by doing that, you're going to be encouraging young people to get into tradesmen. Oh,
undoubtedly. Yeah. I mean, on the company that I had, we had over 1,500 apprentices on over the years. And, that'd be my main key is bring the youngsters in. And most of them youngsters turn up, they become self-employed, they run their own business, or they just, work for a company and they're great. So definitely going to do a lot on the home training side of it. And as soon as the company's up and running, I'll have apprentices on straight away, and I'll have them in every trade. We're going to do all different trades. And
you can not just plumbing, so you can
not just plumbing, heating, all the general house. And we're going to be working in, the top sort of areas, because, we offer a quality service and people will always pay for quality.
Yes, absolutely.
So very excited about that. And it's pretty much going to be a family business. Quite a few of my members of family worked in the previous company, and they're itching to go again, like, grandsons and children. And, I think I had 10 grandchildren working. No, about 8 grandchildren working on the other company. I know you think I don't look old enough, but I am.
I could say that.
Oh, you did say that?
I did say it.
Oh, you was thinking it. That's what I thought.
That, Charlie.
So exciting times ahead, you know. I really am. I mean,
very exciting.
It's,
Why do you think it is, Charlie, that the young people just don't want to work, or seemingly don't want to work? It's horrible to generalise, because there are some very, very good workers out there, young, not saying, but the young seem to have had this kind of generalisation, haven't they? This generation of they don't want to work, they want to work at home, they want flexible time. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's just as you said it. They want to work from home, and the old-fashioned work ethics are not there. And this working from home in COVID sort of has caused this even more. And we've got ourselves, when you give someone something, it's very hard to take it back off them. They should never have allowed this working from home and given them the same pay. I mean, common sense would tell you give them 50% of the pay, they would be begging to get back to work. So I'm going to come out with a scheme that we won't allow working from home. It's a no-go. Obviously, if someone's ill or they've got an appointment or they need to be there, of course we will. Yeah. But the real thing will be come to the office, and they will be, I'm saying to the government, you should pay people that work from home 50% less and pay the ones that come in the office their 50%. The offices will be full again.
Do you think that?
Oh, undoubtedly. I mean, so many of these working from home people say, oh, if I've got to go back to the office, I'm going to quit. Well, quit, you know what I mean? Because someone else will have your job. And I honestly believe that the damage it's doing working from home is costing so many people their jobs. And I actually believe it'll eventually cost the people that work from home. And as you say, I can't generalise, but I would say maybe 10% of the nation can work from home. The rest need to get back to work. And a lot of them want to get back to work. They're causing mental health problems now, the biggest sickness ever in employment. And you're also getting people with bad backs, bad necks.
Because they're not sitting in the right chairs.
They're not got, I mean, when they're in work, you've got to get them a special chair, you've got to get them a special computer, a special desk. And now they're like on the kitchen table or on the settee or in bed. And of course,
hold on a minute there, Charlie. We've got to take a break, but stay with us and come back and join us again in just a minute. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Charlie Mullins OBE, and we're talking all things work ethic, indeed, what we were talking about before the break, Charlie. Do you think there has been a total breakdown in work ethic?
Undoubtedly, I think the COVID situation has caused it, the working from home nonsense, or working less from home, I call it. And we just got to change that way of thinking. And I actually think it's going to ruin many youngsters' sort of career and future because, they're not going to be interacting with people. And the idea of a company means the word company. You all get together, you all integrate, and we all learn off somebody, and you ain't going to learn nothing sitting at home on a computer in your pyjamas.
There's many studies that suggest, working from home is good for the healthy work-life balance, but from a mental health perspective, it's not so good to be working from home all the time.
That's exactly right there. But, everyone I know that works from home, all they keep telling me they're more productive. I mean, load of nonsense. I mean, what are they going to say to their boss? No, I'm not more productive. A new broom sweeps clean, and the only thing I think that's more productive is the ironing gets done, the car gets clean, bit of decorating, gardening, and of course some people do work better from home, but you've got to get people back. The people are losing jobs, the paper seller, the restaurant, the taxi driver. And I think that everyone that works at home, one person loses their job. But eventually it will come back to the people working from home. Why will you pay someone 20, 30 quid an hour to work at home? They're just going to go to India or wherever they go these days and pass the jobs over. If you can do it from your bedroom in London, then you can do it from, a call centre in India. Yeah. Even though I'm not great love of that, I will never do it. People will always come to work where we work and run a personal service, and I think them businesses are going to thrive.
From your background as well, and obviously with going for mayor, that would be key then to really your initiative as a mayor. That would be one of the things that you would try to change.
Well, I mean, I understand London and I understand what Londoners want, and what they really want to do is move around London. Have a reasonable place to live and be able to go to work. That's what Londoners want to do. I mean, we're a great working nation, and I think we just got to get back to it, and it can be done. I mean, I don't think it's over difficult. Government funded apprenticeship schemes will get all the youngsters into work. send less people to university, give them real jobs that are needed, skilled jobs, and you've got everything going in the right direction. And, you know, London used to be, you know, an amazing place, amazing sort of, it was thriving with business. And there's plenty of entrepreneurs out there now, you know, we're starting to recognise, you know, whether it be me on Sugar and Peter Jones and many more. There's many programs on the telly now that are promoting, you know, how to be successful. And, you know, I do many talks and you know, got a book out there. And I'm not trying to sell the book, but I'm just saying it's out there.
Yes. What's
and
the
all
book
the money
called?
goes to children, Monica.
Oh, well then tell us what's the title
My
of the
children.
book.
Sorry, I slipped that in. But
Now, what's the title of the book?
it's called Bog Standard Business.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's an autobiography and a business book. And, you know, I'm not trying to sell it. If anybody wants one, just, you know, send us an email or go on our website and we send you one out for nothing, because it tells you about good work ethics and the value of an apprenticeship is amazing. I mean, you know, I wouldn't be here today. I know you have children. I know they're hard working and, you know, they're putting something into society and I think that makes everybody feel proud. We just got to change their way of thinking.
Yeah. So, Charlie, you do a lot of work for charity as well, don't you? So I'd like to talk about that. Now, is there any particular charities that you, you know, kind of more aligned with?
Well, myself and my fiance, we both support Shooting Star Hospice a hell of a lot for children. And, you know, Simon Cowell's involved with that, Karen Sugarman, Joan Collins is also involved, Tony Hadley. So it works quite well and you know, they're all lovely people and you know, that's what I would call our favourite charity.
Yes.
And we love, you know, being involved. I mean, the part we do, if I'm being honest, I think it's easy. We give them money, where, you know, some of these other people give them their time and I think that's amazing what they do. So, you know, I'm so pleased that we can do it. I'm a great believer of, you know, what goes around comes around. And, you know, I believe that, you know, I was successful for a reason, and that was one of the reasons to help people. And I'm just going to slip this in anyhow.
You do.
People always say you shouldn't talk about how much you give to charity. Well, I think that's nonsense, because we need to tell other people so that they do it. You know, you don't want to have to hide it. It ain't about being braggy or whatever, but when other people know what you've put in, there's a chance they would put in. And I'm proud as anything to say, and I don't hide it up. In the last 13, 14 months, myself and Raquel have put in £1 million into charity.
Wow.
And yeah, and that's what I think. And I'm happy to say that. And I don't, you know, it's an old thing
we're
about...
not very good in England, are we, about sort of bragging about, because it's not a brag, it's just it's sort of shouting about what you've achieved. And yet that's what you've achieved.
And, you know, where
So why
I
shouldn't
put the
you?
money in and Raquel will do some performances, I just feel that, why do people hide this up? And I have to say about, you know, we know Simon, you know, quite well.
Yes.
And he doesn't talk about his charities, but he puts in, as one generous man, he helps so many charities. And I think people, you know, they don't look at what he does. You know, that man, I mean, and the good news is we was at the Shooting Star Hospice and I outbid him. Can you believe that?
Did you outbid Simon Cowell?
I think he let me win, you know what I mean? But,
What was it for? What was it for? Can you remember?
What was it for?
Yeah.
It was for a special sign made by someone saying "Be brave." I didn't even know what it was. I just bid for it.
Yeah.
And I was down in the toilets.
Yeah.
And we're standing next to each other. And Simon went, "Charlie," he said, "I wanted to bid that." He said, "I was looking forward to getting that." He said, "You outbid me." So I said, "Well, you can have it, Simon, if you want." He said, "No." He said, "You know, I mean, he bought quite a lot there, and." But yeah, so I'm very pleased to outbid him. Anybody that knows me, you know, they know I've been involved with charities for many years. And the company, is important that my new company will have a few charities that, you know, and when some people at work want to do a run and raise money for the local hospital or for their dads in an hospice or something, you know, it's nice that everybody does a little bit and contribute. And look, for me, it doesn't matter if you put £1 or £1 million in, as long as you're helping and doing something. I just think it's so important. And yeah, you know, and that's why I say I think everybody learns from somebody. And you know, but unfortunately there's a lot of people that are very wealthy, done very well with business, and they're not so generous. And you know, I don't think that's how it should be, but you know, that's just my view.
It is what it is. How do you feel about going to America, Charlie? Would you ever sort of take your lovely self and do some business in America.
Yeah, I love America.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been, New York, Vegas,
Yeah.
Nashville, Los Angeles, a few other places
Yeah.
that the name don't come. Well, I love America. I mean, God blimey, that's a buzz there, isn't it? And the good thing about it there, when you're there, I do meet a couple of people that know me, and especially plumbing like outfits and that.
Oh, fantastic.
And they really recognise, oh, blimey, you're entrepreneur. The young lad I met a year ago it was now, and his mum come to an event I was talking to, and we said hello, and the boy's name was Stanley, and he wrote to me the other day and sent me some fudge, and he said, look, you've inspired me. I'm 13 years of age. I'm making this fudge. I'm selling it at market stalls, and it was called Stanley's Fudge. And I thought to myself, that's amazing. And he said, it's all because I met you and I read your story and you inspired me. And that's, that's what we should be doing. We've got a lot of youngsters out there. They want to go to work. They want to be successful. Yeah. We've just got to encourage it and not knock these youngsters.
Yeah, maybe you should set up some kind of entrepreneurial, a bit like Dragon's Den, sort of I don't know, some kind of something where maybe youngsters, under 16s can come to
youngsters,
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, because
you can take my idea. I'll give you that idea.
I'm playing it. Don't worry. I'm on that one.
But you'd be good at that though, Charlie. And see what happens. It'd be very interesting actually to see who would come forward and how many would come forward.
I mean, we always used to also in when we had the company, we'd have like tours from charities and youth clubs, and the Prince's Trust used to send a crowd round, and we'd show them around the building, give them lunch, and show them what it's like in the workplace. And a lot of these have had hard lives and come from difficult backgrounds, and they used to ask me the same two questions, which is okay. If this was inspires people, and the question was, do you really drive a Rolls Royce? Yes, because you're going to have a picture of it in the garage.
Yes.
And do you really earn £1 million a year? And that was probably 25 years ago.
Fantastic.
And I'm people say, oh, you don't want to have greedy people, but there's nothing wrong with wanting a better life and doing better for yourself.
Absolutely.
And if that's what inspires youngsters, then that's what we should promote.
Exactly.
I mean, I used to send to youth days, I'd send a successful plumber along there for a careers day, and he'd have his flash motorbike, flash clothes on, or nice clothes, bit of jewellery. And the youngsters were like all over him, and all of a sudden they want to be a plumber, and that's the way to do it.
Well, Charlie, we've got to stop there, I'm afraid. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
really
very
enjoyed it. Okay, that's it for this week's show. Thank you so much for watching. Come back and join me again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.